So on the topic of diets,
Topics of diets.
well, you're going through it now this week,
Yeah.
and you just called your sponsor to make sure that they had the food prepped and ready to go. And we were talking about how beneficial it is to have the food side of things taken care of for you, because it's exhausting to have to prep everything. I mean, it's a whole nother job that you have to do, and you already got a job. You don't need another job.
Yeah.
So what sponsor are you working with for your food?
So I'm with Healthy Meals Direct. They actually sponsored me since my second pro fight. So it was like they've been helping me out since the beginning before I had sponsors. So being able to have that food, just take it to work, heat it up, and that's it. It's good to go. Helps out so much, because I remember
and it tastes good. That's the best. That's the best part. It's like when you have a sponsor that actually has a product that you enjoy, that makes all the difference.
I'm eating like a barbecue chicken flatbread for lunch. That's healthy somehow, some way, and it clearly is, because I'll get down and weight and stuff like that. So yeah, it helps out. It tastes good. It's easy, just in every aspect. This week though, I can't really eat it. I'm picking it up to have it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna freeze it because I gotta take out the sodium, stuff like that, go into this whole weight cutting ordeal.
So we are in fight week for my man Alex Vargas. For y'all that don't know him, this is my man. We've known each other since I got introduced to you at ProFit. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, it was like 3 years ago now, right?
Yeah, dude. You guys had the spot over there for a little bit, and you had the ring. You were just doing your thing. And
Yeah.
Alex was like, "Hey, can you get some clips of the fighter over here?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And we got some stuff, and it was cool, man. It was nice to link up on that. And then obviously we've known each other through the grapevine of just social media, staying up to date. I see you doing your thing. I saw you graduate the academy, which was awesome. And then you had me come out and film the last fight, which I was fucking flattered that you asked for that. And we had a great time right over here at the Paramount. I saw you beat Buddy up, so that was great.
That was a good night.
It's always great when someone hires me to go and film something and they win. Because if they lose, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, what am I going to do with the footage? Like, what am I going to do with this? Make kind of a hype video, you know what I mean?
So there was, and on that, there was a football team. I used to work with New York City Corrections a lot. I used to do a lot of stuff with them, and awesome bunch of guys and savages on the football field. Really athletic dudes, cool dudes. We had a great time, but I felt like almost every game I came out to, they lost. The games I wasn't at, they won. I was like, oh God. I'm like, what? All right, so we're just making montages, I guess, because I don't want to. I'm not doing a documentary. I'm not trying to film a whole season and, oh yeah, this is the loss, this is the win, this is the loss. It's like, okay, if I keep coming out and we have 4 games that I came and filmed and 3 of them were losses, you're just kind of like,
yeah,
okay.
It's stressful on both ends. Like, that's why I was like, this fight, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Like, whoever they had back there before the fight in the dressing room, it is what it is. But I was like, I want to be super focused, not many cameras in the back kind of thing, because it's a big one for me. Sometimes so many different cameras and stuff in your face can get you off focus. So I'm like, this one, let's keep it simple. Just whoever's in the back, obviously don't want to lose. Like, if someone's coming making a highlight video for you,
yeah, of course.
So
it's tough. It's tough even on my side, because there's a point that you have to be respectful to the athlete and the people that are the subject of the video. There's a point where the camera doesn't need to be jammed in their face anymore.
Yeah.
So when I was working with Flex Lewis, he was getting ready for the Olympia, and I was with him down in Florida. We documented his final week leading up to going out to Vegas, and then we were getting each workout out in Vegas, and I was flattered and honored because I just started my video career, so it was pretty fucking cool to be able to film Flex Lewis, one of the best 212, if not the best 212 competitor of all time in bodybuilding. But I would say to him, like, after everybody would leave and, the room, his coach would leave and this and that, and he's just trying to sit there and decompress and eat a meal. I go, hey, just let me know when you want me to leave, like, and put the camera away. Because I know, looking back, you may say, oh, I wish we captured more, or I wish we captured this and that. But I also you don't need a camera in your face 24/7. So like, and I want to be respectful of, like, if you start talking about things that can't be captured on camera, I don't want you to think that I'm just sitting here rolling, and I have a bunch of footage of things that you didn't want. Yeah. So with stuff like that, I can definitely understand, because there's a moment when you're backstage, and I really want you to go into, like, that psyche and that thought process of, like, hitting it in the back. You're getting amped up before a fight. You know, I wanted to talk about the emotions coming into the arena and then obviously staring the opponent down in the ring.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of emotion, man. So to have somebody that you either don't fully feel comfortable with putting a fucking camera in your face, and they don't have that rapport with you where they could be like, hey, dude, let me know if you want me to bounce. I mean, even at your last spot, I asked you a few times. I said, just let me know when you want me to leave. You and Pops, you know, you guys want some alone time to focus at the task at hand. I'll be ringside. I'll be waiting for you out there, and then I'll come back when it's time to walk you out. And we'll get a quick walkout thing.
Yeah, that's where you were good, because I remember you said, like, hey, you want to say a few words right now? I was like, all right, yeah, we'll do it now before. And then, like, I felt like you weren't even there, but you were there. You know what I mean? Because it's tight back there. We have our own room, but you have the whole team back there. You have the inspectors back there from the commission, you know, doctors coming in, and it, you know, in that room it gets crowded. You have like 2 bulky cameras, so like, yeah, it does make a difference for an athlete with the camera guy there, because if someone's just in your face bumping into you constantly, it's not going to work out. It's going to throw you off. Yeah. So yeah, having you there was big time.
I appreciate that. And you know, to be honest with you, that's not like to give me my flowers. That's to let other people know that do videos, that are listening to this, that try to capture content, whether you're a news outlet, whether you're, hired by the athlete, anything like that. You have to have some respect, and it's not that you're not being respectful. You just have to have some mental thought of just going, this doesn't need to be in there pressed against their fucking eyelid the entire time. So just let them do their thing, because although this may be a big moment for you to document and capture a win, a knockout, some great accolade that the team is going to, perform or achieve. Yeah, that might be great for you to capture because you're thinking, oh, it's going to go viral on social. Yeah. I'm going to, you're just thinking about all the cool things you're going to do with it, with the footage. But like, they have to get into that moment. They have to get into the zone. They got to really focus on that shit. So to get there, although you may think that you're amping them up and helping them out and this and that, sometimes they just need some alone time. Sometimes they need just that lock-in period that has gotten, because you're 15-0.
13.
13? I thought 15. Okay, my 13. Bad. So 13-0. I like that. So 13-0. So you're 13-0, and, I was only there for one fight. Yeah. So that was 12 other fights that you've gotten yourself to that point of mental victory before the physical victory.
Exactly.
So I'm an addition at this point. Yeah. So I have to let you do your process and get into that mode.
You had the DJ role too. Remember, I had you play the music.
Yes.
I was like, I want to get off the messing with my phone and changing songs. You were like, I got it. Yeah. And all the reggaeton.
That was it, man.
You had the good playlist going.
I heard what you were playing, and I said, you know what? Me and my boy T, we were rocking the summer reggaeton playlist for a while. And we just collaborating on the things that we loved and the songs that we liked. I said, that's it.
That was perfect. I didn't have to worry about the songs. It was just flowing. I'm like, all right, we got that going too.
That's awesome. So let me get into real quick. Let's get into Fight Week media, because we were talking about that before the cameras cut. Let me just make sure everything's good.
Looks good. No.
See what I'm saying? Shit.
Wasn't going?
Everybody, well, it's going to be the wide cut though until that point. Yeah, it's going to be the wide cut until that time. That thing always turns off, and I got to get a new camera. Done. All right. But we have this rolling, so we're good. So we were talking before the camera cut on, obviously. Yeah. We were talking about before the camera cut on, media week can be stressful for an athlete.
Yeah.
Be stressful because I don't know how many publications hit you up because they all want exclusive interviews. They all want you to talk about camp, or they want you to talk about prepping for the fight. They want to talk to you about, what's your thought process going into the fight, and what's your thought process of like your opponent. And, they really want to stir things up and get these captivating titles from what I see. I mean, you could tell me because you obviously are on the actual end of it.
Yeah.
They want to get these captivating titles to either stir some stuff up or make everybody really excited for the fight. And it's just like, it has to be more relaxed, in my opinion. It has to be more like this, like you said. This is fun for you. And that's what I always want this show to be. I always want this to be a good time. I want to be able to enjoy my time with my guest and have them feel relaxed.
I was just thinking that.
Crack a rain. Crack it, baby.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. I was like, let me hold off.
Crack it, man. I want to crack it. I got my black coffee there. I got a couple notes in front of me just to like jog my memory of what I wanted to touch on. And that's it.
I needed that.
Yeah, that's it. But that's it. This is what I'm talking about. This is like the good vibes that I always want to be. Can you touch on like what it's like dealing with, the press and dealing with the media leading into a fight?
Yeah. Fight week's a lot. It's fun. you have to make it fun. You have to make it fun. Yeah. Put in your mind that it's enjoy every moment, because as much as it sucks, doing everything you do, like the media, it's gotten more and more over the years since I first turned pro. Like now, yeah, news stations write to me, want interviews the week of the fight, and I don't want to do this stuff the week of the fight. I really don't. It comes with the job, but you're cutting weight. There's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and you just want to focus on the fight. All of these other things are tough to deal with. So, and they're not fun for the most part.
Yeah. So what's the best way that you just kind of bite the bullet? You just kind of go into them thinking this way. I got to get it done. I got to do it. Like you said, it's part of the job. It's part of it.
I get it done. It's same thing usually. How's your opponent? How you feeling?
Yeah.
How was training camp? This and that. Same things. So it's repetition. It gets old. Constantly doing it. But like if it's something that's fun, like this helps me enjoy fight week. Just talking, flowing, not the usual just your opponent, this, that, the same things. Like, it's all the same. Weight cut sucks. So, being able to have fun and do stuff fun, I just think it's more flow. Like you said, like we're doing, we're just talking.
Just having a conversation. That's all it needs to be.
Not right off the bat, like, who's your opponent?
What do you think about your opponent?
Yeah, what do you think? Like, it's the same thing, So, we're just flowing. That's what makes it fun. It takes your mind off the fight, which is a good thing. So, That's what it is.
And now you take off this week for work as well, because it's a grueling week and you need to just focus all in on this process.
Yeah, I had to take off for work. Obviously being a police officer is stressful itself. And while weight cutting, not the safest thing to do. So fortunately I do have a great job that, supports what I do with fighting, and they back me, and I get to take off, and I'm able to focus on training and the fight. So that's one less worry. So thankfully for Suffolk County Police Department, I get to do that, and that's it. We're just locked in now.
Well, there's a lot of Suffolk County cops that were supporting you for the fight last time. They were all amped up, routed up. Yeah. It was great, man.
Yeah,
but cool. It's cool because it shows that side of like the job where everyone's there to support each other outside of just wearing the badge.
Yeah,
y'all are there for each other on your own intramural and accolades and. Coming up to try to be a pro fighter and do like your real big shows, right? Are you pro right now?
I'm pro, yeah.
You're pro. Okay, so look at me like a jerk off.
Yeah.
Like, be a pro fighter. You are a pro. I just didn't know. So you said that last time, and I wanted to ask you this too.
Yeah.
You said last time that this next fight gets you the ability to do bigger fights. Is that what this is?
Yeah, this is it's a big one. This is for the WBA Continental title.
Okay.
So it's vacant right now. You get one of the WBO, WBC, WBA titles, and it's just shooting you up in the rankings. So I win this fight. Now I have the belt, and now I could challenge those top 10 guys in the weight class. I could challenge all of them, and all of those guys I know I can fight with, because I'm in the ring week in and week out with, world champions, guys like that. I'm just more under the radar, which I like. So I win this title. And
it opens up a new door.
That's where, tons of doors open. So even though, unfortunately, my opponent pulled out my original opponent, which I was upset about. He was 22-3 from Pittsburgh, and we were excited going into the fight. And then, 2 weeks ago, we get the notice that, he fractured his elbow and pulled out. I honestly don't believe it, the fractured elbow part, because I've seen things on social media that things you can't do with a fractured elbow. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So it's part of the sport, whatever the case was, whatever reason he pulled out, it is what it is. But so it's been stressful trying to get a new opponent, because I knew it was such a big thing. The belt was on the line. Now it's like, is this belt still going to be on the line, or is it just going to be another fight? So we went through different opponents. One guy, 30-5, 13-0, 12-1, all turned it down. So we were getting nervous that there might not even be a fight or a show, So fortunately, my new opponent, Julio Rosa, he's 8-3. He's not 22-3, but still for the belt. He took the fight, so I've got to respect him. He saved the whole show, and he's a tough guy. So win this fight, WBA Continental title, and then, like you said, tons of doors open where my career could take off.
So now, what's the thought process in going having to line up new opponents? Do you feel like a guy that's 30-5 or a guy that's 8-3 is right? That's the current guy's record, 8-3. Are there any emotions on which one would be a better fight for you? I mean, because obviously you start looking at win records and you start looking at loss records and you go, okay, well maybe this guy, but this dude's still fresh out and he has a couple of wins and a couple of losses versus 30-5.
Yeah,
but even the 30-5, you said turned it down.
Yeah,
because I'm new to the fight game.
Yeah,
I'm not. Yeah. I just besides Sarah and you and my buddy Jamal, who coaches Big Baby Miller, like that's my extent of fight knowledge. So I'm sorry if I sound like a rookie to some of y'all, but I just want to. I just want to learn, and people that come from the fitness side, specifically like bodybuilding and the cross training and stuff like that, that listen to this podcast, they're going to learn too. So that's why my thought process on that. I want to know, what do you prefer? I mean, because obviously you want a hard fight. You want to go in there and prove your merit. You don't want to do that's just going to go belly up and take a knockdown, knockout, whatever. You're like, okay, great. I know that you're a driven individual. You want to prove that you got this shit.
Yeah, that's why I was upset. Like my last opponent was like 40-7, and I'm at that point in my career where you take these step ups now and you fight these tougher guys to see, kind of groom you into the bigger fighter. So like I said, my last opponent was like 40-6 or something like that. Had fought world champions and went the distance with them. So, stopping him was a big statement. A lot of people were like, it was an 18-month layoff that I didn't fight. And they were like, don't come back and fight this guy right off the bat. I was like, no, I want to do that. I fight better when I step up. So yeah, the kid that was 22-3 is a better look on paper. Let's put it that way. But I think they're like the same fighter. Like this guy's 8-3, but he only lost to undefeated prospects. Yeah. And like I tell everyone, anyone in the fight game can win on any given day. 8-ounce gloves, no headgear. And all it takes is you can have an off night. You could be on point all training camp and then have one off night and you lose a fight, or you get clipped with a bad shot. You lose a fight. That's the thing.
You see it all the time. You see somebody just get it the wrong way, and they're just like, they get stunned up, and the other person takes advantage of that stun up, and they go right in on you.
And they could be winning the entire fight. You could be up 9 rounds, and there's 10 rounds of fight. You get clipped in the last thing. So everyone's dangerous. That's why it just would have looked better on paper for me. But either way, we were fortunate to get the belt to be on the line still.
Okay.
So that's it.
And now, when you're getting ready in fight camp, which I want to talk about camps, we're going to go back, by the way, to the history of what got you into this and stuff like that, because I'm generally interested. When you are preparing for another opponent, how many weeks was your prep before? You said he pulled out 2 weeks prior. So how many weeks were you preparing for this fight? And looking at this, I'm sure you watch footage of him. And you're seeing what his strengths are and his weaknesses are, and you're preparing for that to now pivot to another fighter. Yeah, it becomes tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we knew, I think end of August, we had the contract signed to fight my original opponent. So, yeah, we're prepping for him, watching tape, and, working on little things that we could do against him to now all of a sudden a brand new opponent. Different. I mean, he comes forward, but they're different. This opponent has longer arms, stuff like that. So we had to change it up, which, like I said, it's part of the fight game. And my dad always taught me, fight different styles. Don't fight one way. Don't fight one way. And my opponent's in the same shoes now, though, because he took a fight last second, and he has to prepare for me. And I'm a lefty, and that's tough to prepare for. But he's got nothing to lose. He gets offered this. It's fight the main event in a sold out venue for the WBA title. He's gonna take it. He's gonna come and fight as hard as he can. But I just think that I'm too prepared for this guy. Either way, like whether I had enough time to train for him or not, like we just had a really good training camp. So
you've had eyes on the prize, man. You've been ready. You've been ready to roll.
Yeah, I just don't.
You don't care who's standing in front of you. You just want to go right into it.
I've always wanted a title. I've always, as a pro, and I just don't see myself losing. I just don't. It's just, when you want something so bad, you go and get it done.
You can fucking taste it. It's not even. It's not even something you need to eat. You just taste it. You're like, God damn! I know what it's gonna taste like.
Yeah, that's it. I just can't wait to hold that belt, have that belt. And like I said, I've wanted it since I was a kid. So that's it. I just don't see myself losing.
I think that's the perfect segue into childhood. and
Yeah.
you getting into this. So at what age did you actually start realizing? Now your father is the main guy in your corner.
Yeah.
So Pops, shouts to Pops. So, your father, how long has he been in the fight game? And then did that just transfer down to you? Did you watch him working with clients or fighting himself? Did you what was the waterfall effect that brought you into boxing?
Yeah. He was in and out of the gym. He was more streets guy as a younger guy. So but he'd be in and out of the gym because of it. So he never fought, never had a actual competition in boxing, but he would always watch it. So Mike Tyson fights in the basement, he'd be watching. I'd be down there as a kid at 6 years old watching with him. Naturally, from watching it, and Tyson just being Tyson, I was like, who is this guy?
You mentioned Tyson earlier.
I'm like, who is this guy? That guy's a complete monster, and it made me want to fight.
Yeah.
So we'd be in the basement, put the gloves on, and fight for a fake title, against each other. My dad'd be on his knees, punching me in the face, get me all frustrated. I'd be teeing off on him. And then we just did that until I was old enough to go to the gym. I think it was I was 9 years old when I was allowed, and I had my first amateur fight at 9. So it kind of, it's just been since I was born, I guess, just seeing it,
Yeah, well, you're a product of your environment. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And that happens in a lot of different instances for a lot of different people. You're around something, you see it, you embody it, and it becomes part of you.
Yeah.
And so I love that your love of the sport came from Dad, though. That's awesome.
It did.
It's great.
100%. And we've been through it all, since the beginning, the ups and downs, the people telling me that my dad doesn't know enough to get me to where I am. My dad doesn't have the experience to get me to where I am, and I'd say we've done pretty well. I know guys.
Pretty sure he's done pretty good so far.
I know guys that were supposed to do more than we were, and now we're here headlining, selling out shows, fighting for a title. So we did it.
Yeah, and you're still doing it. You're
Still doing it.
As I say, man, you're just warming up. That's it. You're just
that's it.
getting the shoulders
That's
loose.
it.
You're just getting right in.
Just warming up. So,
And now, at what point? So you said 6 years old, you start to take an interest. You start to develop this passion for hitting the pads, hanging out, stuff like that. At what point did you go to a gym and start getting more competitive with it?
I was 9. I think I was 9.
Okay.
So I went, had my first amateur fight, lost.
Okay.
Cried.
Did you? So you went? Were you already at a gym at that point? Were you training regularly, or did you just decide to sign up for something?
I was at the gym. I was
Okay.
training a little bit, and then the Junior Olympics came around, tournament, and we were like, let's sign up. Just fought, lost my first fight, and just kept going from there. But it was just I was never consistent with boxing. I'd take time off, so I'd fight, then I'd play soccer, baseball, step away, and that was my entire career, all the way high school, college. I never stayed consistent with it, which I think is good. I think it was good to play different sports, not just wearing your body since a little kid. So I never stayed consistent until I turned pro when I was 22, but I always knew that was what I wanted to do.
Were you ever just as passionate about any of the other sports that you played versus boxing, or was boxing always kind of just in the back of your head, even though you were taking time off?
Boxing was always in the back of my head. I take time off. I loved football, stuff like that. But like I said, the Golden Gloves, I remember going to MSG, watching it with my dad when I was 12, 13, 14, 15. MSG finals, watching it, and always saying I want to win that. So it was always in the back of my mind because I turned 17 and I was eligible to do it, and I quit wrestling. I went right to the Golden Gloves and won that.
And break that down. What is Golden Gloves? What is the prestige in it? What does it mean to win that?
So the Golden Gloves, when it was around, the oldest boxing tournament besides the Olympics. Guys like Mike Tyson won it. Just greats, all-time greats. This chain right here. That's what you get. And I saw them all wearing it. So knowing how big the tournament was and all these great fighters and future pro champions that went in and won it. And you fight at MSG.
Oh, that's cool.
MSG. I fought the first year at the Barclays Center that they had it there. But it was just the history.
Regardless,
of the
you walk
tournament.
in and you see the open arena that you watch on TV with all these pro athletes. That you're just like, wow.
That was
You're
cool.
flabbergasted. You're just, where am I right now?
Yeah, it was amazing. And I was in high school, and having school buses leave the high school to go to Barclays Center to watch me fight was pretty cool to be that young and win it. Because I think it's like 17 years old up to 35 or 38 you can do it. And like I said, dream of mine. So it was always in the back of my mind. Whenever that opportunity came, I left whatever I was doing to do that. So boxing has definitely been just the passion. Like I said,
how long was the Golden Gloves tournament? How many opponents did you have to fight?
I think I had 5 fights.
That's a lot.
I had 68 opponents in my weight class, I think.
That's a lot.
And it started in January, I think, went all the way to April. So you were fighting.
So you had to keep going back to the Barclays Center? Is that what it was?
So that's just the final.
That's the final.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you fighting prior to that?
The prelims change up everywhere. You could be in the middle of the Bronx. You could be in Brooklyn. You could be all over the place. You could be fighting in a warehouse, just to get.
That's kind of cool though, man.
Yeah, because, you're fighting all these spots, different spots, and, you're in bad areas. And like I said, a warehouse you're literally fighting at to get to that main prize. And that's the Golden Gloves. That's at MSG, Barclays. That's what you want. So it's cool. It's such a build up. It's one fight, you win. Next fight, you win. You lose, you're out. That's it. You get one shot. So it was such a fun ride.
It's
something I'll
elimination
never
style.
forget.
That's it.
Elimination style, old school. No fighting again and fighting in the losers bracket to get back. It was like, you lose, you're done.
That's it. And now, is it age based where you wouldn't be able to redo it if you wanted to? It was just by weight class. What was it?
By weight class.
It was just all by weight class.
Yeah, and then you get thrown in there, and I think they have the brackets. But then once you get to a quarterfinal, you're in the room with all the other fighters, and they're pulling from a hat. So 1 fights 2, 3 fights 4, and it was all ages. So I was 17. I fought a 30-year-old at one point. I was fighting grown men. I was
big motherfucker. Get out of my way.
Oh my God, huge, like man strength. That's when I realized man strength, and it was good though, man, because you got to witness all of that, experience all of that. I was like, I'm fighting someone that's 19 today. I'm fighting someone that's 30.
That might have been that must have felt like you were like a gladiator in the Coliseum days. That's what it must have felt like.
Oh yeah, it was
Vargas, you're up. It's
that's
Jesus.
That's exactly how it was. They pulled from the hat, and it's like you're in a circle, and it's like one, I pull one, and then he pulls 2, and we're looking at each other like they're like, all right, you 2 are fighting, get ready. That's it. It was real.
You're just looking at each other. You're just like, all right.
That's how it was.
See you out there.
It was real. We're just in the room. We look at each other, and it's like, all right, fair play.
That's stressful, man.
It is. That's what I love about it, though. There's no, in the fight game, it's you. That's it. You lose, it's on you. You can't blame anyone. It's not, football, you lose a game, you can still make the playoffs. Golden Gloves, you lose, you're out. And you can't blame anybody. It's you. You put the work in, and it's going to show. Even if you do put the work in, you have a bad night, it's on you. You can't blame it on your teammate next to you. You can't blame it on your coach. It's you. So that's what I loved about it, because I look at my opponent and it's just us.
Yeah.
It's like, who's going to be the better man?
Putting the team on your back, and the team is you. That's it.
That's it. I mean, granted, having a great team around you helps leading up to it and getting you prepared. But come fight night.
But in the ring, center stage, that's it.
It's you. You can't shut down anything. And that's what I love about it, because it's on me.
Yeah. And now, after Golden Gloves, you went to Cortland?
I went to Suffolk for 2 years.
You did Suffolk, and then you went to Cortland.
Yes.
Smart way to do it, man. That's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
2 years of community.
Yeah.
And then I went to Quinnipiac. Still paying those loans.
Yeah.
I could redo it. I wouldn't do it.
Suffolk was a smart way to go. But then I did go to Cortland. I didn't like school.
Yeah, me
I went to get my degree. Did get it, but I didn't like school, man.
Yeah,
but it was a good experience. You leave, you're on your own. There's no mommy and daddy around. You're up in upstate, freezing. Heat's not working. You got to fix it, kind of thing. So it was a good experience. I just did not like school. School is not for me. But my parents always said, because I wanted to turn pro after I won the Golden Gloves. That's when I had the opportunities to turn pro, and they were like, no, you got to go to school. You're not just going to be a fighter.
Smart though.
Yeah.
Smart. They want you to continue just the education, just finalize things. I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm
100%.
I'm not against school. I didn't ever enjoy it either. I hated it.
Yeah.
And then if I could redo it again, I should have just done a SUNY school and called it a fucking day. Instead, I did Quinnipiac, and it was a private school and expensive. They hit me up. The alumni association hits you all the time. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like fuck alone.
money
Yeah, I'm still
and
paying
stuff,
my loans off. Leave me alone.
It's insane. It's insane.
I'm gonna be honest with
It's
you.
money
I don't
game.
have money for you. I have money for me and my dog right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not putting towards the alumni association.
I'm not doing
You got enough coming in.
I can give you like $50. You can put you can put a plaque up. You can put Nikki Rizzles. You can put that up on a wall.
Nikki Rizzles.
No?
Then maybe.
Yeah?
If not, then you're not getting $50.
So now you graduate, you do your thing.
Yeah.
And what are the opportunities to turn pro? Like, are there? Because once again, I'm a greenhorn when it comes to boxing and the federations and stuff like that. So now, are there multiple what is the gold standard federation? Is there one? Like, how does it work?
So
when I hear pro boxers, I think of like, obviously, I mean Tyson at the time, but you think of like
the big guys.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
You think of all these big names and all this Fury. Like, what is the actual organization? Is it a single one that they all fight under, or do they just pull from different places?
So
I'm not crazy, right? It's complicated.
No,
okay,
it's complicated. It's not like UFC. It's like one banner.
That's what I thought. Okay.
UFC, and you guys are all fighting for one title. Boxing is different organizations. Like I said, the WBO, WA. Those are all different titles.
Okay.
Just
want to make sure I wasn't crazy.
Yeah, no, it's very confusing. So those are just So if I went in the WB, I forgot which one I'm fighting for. WBA, I think.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'll get ranked in that one, and then some of these guys, like Tiafimo on them, they've had WBO, WBC, so it changes. But the main thing is then there's different promoters. So I'm signed to Star Boxing, and you have Top Rank where Tyson Fury's signed to, and PBC is another one, and then their job is to like promote you and get you bumped up in the rankings and work their magic and get you a title belt and get you these opportunities and get you the money and this and that. So it's extremely complicated, but you have to get signed to a promoter who you're comfortable with, because a lot of these guys are free agent. If you're a free agent, you have no backing. So the hard part is getting signed to a promoter who's gonna back you and basically dictate your career.
So now the promoter is the one that will get you the fights. What does a manager do then?
Partially, my manager will negotiate everything, the contracts. So promoter will get the fight, he'll offer so and so this.
Now,
this,
what if
and
the
that.
promoter's getting you a fight that's in a different federation than what they're promoting?
The promoters work with each other, so the promoters will talk, do their own thing, and then
they shake hands.
Then it gets back to my manager, and then that's where they start going back and forth, because you don't know what the promoters are doing, and they're doing whatever's best for them to make the most money between them, and then now it gets down to managers, and it's like, this is the total sum, and you'll get this percentage, and they're like, whoa, I want to see the total, the real total of what you guys spoke about, because no one knows that. So it's such a messed up
the promoters
game.
are docking each other.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. I said they're docking.
Yeah, you're an investment to them. That's all you are. They call us like you're a racehorse.
Wow, we gotta formalize this shit. This actually may be Nick's new passion project of just formalizing one. I may be the new Dana White of boxing. This is gonna be crazy.
It's insane.
It needs to be a little bit more like just streamlined, because that's insane. That's too many hands.
Too many people doing fighters dirty.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, fighters getting the short end of the stick big time.
Oh, I could imagine.
From the top to the top. The very few big guys in the sport, they manage and promote themselves because they got so big, they're making that much money. But those are the far and few between. A lot of these fighters that make $200K for a fight could really be making $1 million. But no one really knows because it all comes, down to them. And
it's like trickling down the food.
You trickle it down after everything, the main thing has been discussed. So it's so complicated. It's so and messed up. Like people say it all the time that, these fighters are going in there risking their lives, and literally,
bro, it's scary. Let me just speak from a standpoint of just outside the ring,
Yeah.
and being a spectator of UFC, being a spectator of boxing, and just understanding it for what it is, but not understanding the backlog of what it, the business side of things.
Yeah.
But if anybody should be getting paid the most, it's the guys that are going in there risking concussions, brain damage,
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of dudes getting hit in the back of the head just the right way, and then they're fucking paralyzed.
Yeah.
It's like that is some scary fucking shit.
Yeah.
It really is.
When it really hit home was when one of my sparring partners actually passed away in a fight. Patrick Day from Freeport, educated, well-spoken, awesome dude. And I remember watching the fight on TV, and he went down, and you're like, all right, this is a little different than usual. But then he ended up passing away, and you're like, wow, because it was close to home. Like, you heard about it happening, but the fact that we shared the ring, sparred all the time, shook hands, I was like, man, this really hit home. Like, it's scary. Like,
how did he? What did you just get hit the wrong way? What was it? I mean, is there a right way to get hit?
I think it's just. I think the thing with boxing is the constant punishment of like UFC is like, yeah, you're gonna get your arms broken, your head kicked in, but it's not just constant punching, to the body and head, and that's all it is for 36 minutes. So from usually when guys pass, it's from just a swelling, like a buildup of just getting hit.
Fluid in the brain.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. So your brain swells up, and some of these guys walk out of there and they're like, I feel a little off, which you usually do, and then they're going to the hospital now. It's you got a brain bleed, something like that. So.
And what do you have to do for that? You just got to wait it out and just.
I mean, that's when the doctors try and
relieve the pressure.
They relieve the pressure.
They try to put a hole in to like take some of the pressure out of it.
Yeah. So I believe that was the case with him. I'm not sure. I just remember, like I said, when it was close home, it was like,
that's tough.
It was tough, and I fought 2 weeks after that. So that was tough. It was.
Well, it almost feels like not you, but the promoters and the showrunners. It's just like, well, the show goes on.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
That's
life. That's that's life. That's just everything. You see football players get injured and they get his ass off the field, and it's like, okay, let's get back to it. And it's a tough thing to kind of stomach.
It's tough. It's tough for me being a fighter. It was just tough seeing that, but I had to go in there and fight. It was more tough on my family. My mom was just like, she doesn't watch me fight. She goes when I get in the ring, she steps outside. But it was stressing her out, like, big time. Like, once that happened, my dad as well, but he had to hide it. He's my trainer.
Yeah,
the whole boxing.
He's your guy, man. He's got to get in there and he's got to help you out, and he's the shoulder that you need sometimes.
So it's dangerous. It is scary.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the same time, you could also say that there's a lot of things that are dangerous. Could walk down the fucking street, get shot. You never know.
Exactly.
It's like there's a lot of
driver, something like that hits you and
hitting the fucking house on my block. What's up with
flying
that, dude?
right through that. They got to fix that house. They got to do something about.
Yeah, can they airlift it out? That's what I think they need to do.
At least put a barricade. Because that's happened numerous times.
Yeah, there's a house that y'all probably don't have any idea what we're talking about. There's a house at the end of my block that comes as you come into Huntington Village, and it gets mobbed. Just like cars just be smashing into it. Drunk drivers just be hitting it all the time. I'm telling you, I watched the people move in there, and I looked at the apartment from the outside. I went, oh, it looks fucking nice, man. They really did this shit up. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I see police tape, and I was like, yo, a car drove through that shit the next day.
I actually
a week later.
I heard the guy or whoever was in the house was actually sitting at his table.
Bro.
Like a freaking movie. Sitting there and just boom. Table gets wiped out. He's like
he's going in for that last scoop of pie.
Yeah, and it's just
the whole thing just goes away. He's like, fuck's my pie.
Imagine that. Car just takes the old and you're just like, whoa.
That's Wile E. Coyote shit, bro. No shot.
That's nuts, man.
No, I can't do it. So I like my spot. My spot's cool. I'm like up on. I'm up.
Yeah.
Anybody hits anything, they hit in the porch. We're
no
good.
One's flying through your house.
No.
Yeah. You're not downhill right at an intersection like that.
Yeah, no, but they do be blowing that stop sign by me all the time.
They do.
It's exhausting.
They do.
And I got to listen to the drunks walk around.
That's probably the worst part.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Yeah. People ask me like, "What's the worst part about living in Huntington Village?" I go, honestly, it's like every now and then, every Saturday night or something like that, you all of a sudden you'll just hear Hey man, what are you looking at? I'm just like, and Kenji wakes up, he'll lift his head up, I'll look at him, I'll be like, oh, these fucking people, man.
Sleep, man.
Just shut up, go home, take an Uber and leave.
Late, man, it's too late.
Get out, just do anything but be. I actually walked outside a couple times. I walked outside with Kenji off leash. Like I had him just the collar on his neck, and I have the military collar, so it's got the hand grip on it.
Yeah.
So I walked out with Kenji, and he just looks so angry when people wake us up in the middle of the night that I walked outside. He's just sitting there with his face just staring at the people there, just letting out little, like little grunts.
I don't blame Kenji.
And they turn around and look at me, and I go, yo, y'all can go anywhere else in the village, anywhere else on Long Island, except right here. You're exactly outside my bedroom, and you're loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Go away. Our bed. Yo, it's 4 a.m. Sunday morning. Please go away. Yeah. Just go away. I'm not mad. He's more mad than I am. Please go away.
At least they're like, for the most part, they're like on my bed.
Yeah,
some of these guys could probably, they're drinking and they're, who are you talking to kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Honestly, it's the dog. It's the dog. It's the dog. It's the mysteriousness.
Kenji saving the day.
Yeah, Kenji just looking mean as fuck and just like angry. I'll tell you the biggest problem that I have. The biggest problem I have with kids nowadays, and then we're gonna get back to boxing. But the biggest problem that I have with kids nowadays is the lack of respect. And you deal with that as an officer on a constant basis in the village. I know you do, and I'm sure there's 1,000,001 stories. But what I constantly see that absolutely drives me bananas is broken bottles everywhere. Dude, when I used to go out and I used to drink and I used to hang out, there was never a point in my life where I went, this bottle looks like it should be smashed on this corner right now.
Yeah.
Like, no. I would just always look for a garbage and I'd throw my junk out.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be smashing bottles. I don't know if it's the soft parenting, because I'm going to be throwing elbows at my kids if they're going to act like that.
Yeah.
You have to hold yourself above what societal standards are, because societal standards have gradually been decreasing. So I don't know how much lower they can go, to be honest with you, but they seem to continually be going lower and lower.
It's low. Society now is insane. Yeah. I think it's a ton of things. I think it's parenting, because we'll get calls from like 13-year-olds, basically because they'll call 911 and their parents are disciplining them.
The kids are calling 911 because the parents are disciplining the kids.
Yes, like I'm getting abused, this and that. I want.
And then, of course, you have to take it seriously.
Yeah, and I'm also like...
No, I mean, now you guys have to take the call seriously.
We have to take it seriously.
So you go there and you're like, what's going on?
You go there, you're like, what's going on? It ends up being nothing. It's like, I remember it. Like, I did something. My parents would discipline me.
Oh, yeah.
And hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not calling the cops.
Yeah.
If I did call the cops, it would end up worse for me. If I did.
Oh, yeah, it'd be over for us. I said fuck you to my mom once because we were fighting, just not getting along, this and that.
Yeah.
I said fuck you once, and I went to go pick up the phone to like call my grandfather or my dad, whatever it was, and she grabbed that Italian dishcloth that's hanging over the sink at all times in our household, and she twirled that bitch up and whap right across my face.
Yeah.
Dropped the phone, dropped to my knees. That was it. So she's like, I am not standing for that shit.
No way, man.
That was it, man. I was like, never said that again.
If I ever did anything towards my parents, it wasn't, especially my mom.
Yeah.
So if I disrespected my mom, she would handle it herself. But then I knew Dad's coming home.
Yeah, Dad just comes home and he just throws the gloves in your lap and he goes, remember when I was doing it on my knees? He's like, no, we're standing up now.
There's no, and that's how it should be, I think. I mean, I just think the soft parenting, I think social media has ruined a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like you said, you wouldn't go out and just, hey, this is cool, and let me slam this bottle on the floor, and hey, let me put it on TikTok, and now you have glass all over the floor, and
and then I walk the dog.
Walking on it.
I walk the dog every day. I walk the dog multiple times around Huntington Village, and it's like I got to watch out for the glass, and he licks everything. He drives me nuts. I was telling you that. He drives me nuts with the licking.
Yeah,
he licks everything. So it's like I don't want him licking shit like substances or whatever off the ground that y'all just been dickheads and throwing around. There was a group of like 6 dudes that were on my corner one day, and I watched one of the dudes smash the bottle on my corner. It took every ounce of just restraint to not go outside, because that would have been a problem. That I know. 6 dudes, they're feeling cool with their friends. Like some dude comes out saying shit. It's like, okay, now they're going to get wild, and now I have to get wild back, and it's just it's not worth the time. So it's like, whatever. But I just don't. It has a lot to do with the parenting. It has a lot to do with the social media. I don't know if you've seen these YouTubers getting checked now.
No.
Oh man, I gotta show you some of these videos, man. There was a YouTube dude. You have all these pranksters, these dudes that try to do pranks and shit.
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber. I think he was in Texas. There was one in Texas, and there was another one somewhere else. I don't remember the locations, but the dude in Texas, he was like getting in dudes' faces in the food court, like just hey, like that. And the dude was like, "Yo, get away from me, bro! Like, what are you doing? Get away from me!" And he said it multiple times, wouldn't leave. He walks away, and now the YouTuber's following the guy. Bro, he pulls a gun out and just shoots him right in the stomach. He's like, "Get the fuck away from me!"
It's different over there.
And everybody rallied around. I'm with the dude who shot him, bro. Don't harass people. What's wrong with you?
Well, that's the thing. Like, these are the things you do now, and you can make a living.
Yeah,
become famous.
Being a jerk off,
being an idiot.
Yeah,
like they're just going up to people, doing these horrible things to people. I mean, just disrespecting people, and then, but hey, I'm gonna be famous. I'm
gonna go viral.
Everyone loves it. I'm gonna start making money off of it, and it's like that's what the world's come to. Like this is what we're gonna make money off of.
Well, that's how you want
people.
That's how you want your fame. That's how you want your fame.
That's another.
You don't want to be famous, and you don't want to be well known by just doing nice things or being I don't know. I'm not going to say podcaster, but being somebody that, let's say, interviews people, or let's say, giving back to charity, but not filming yourself every time you give $1 to somebody to try to get sympathy and likes and whatnot.
They don't care. They just want.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how.
Want to harass people and be an asshole.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how they get. They want fame, and it doesn't matter how they do it. Whatever it is for the fame.
I find that they don't find the people that are the fuck around and find outs. They don't find them often enough because people are too nervous about the repercussions of doing stuff like that.
Especially nowadays. Imagine if someone's in your face barking at you like that and you punch them in the face.
Oh, yeah. Well, then
you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, which is the craziest part. But actually, I think the dude that shot him, I think he's got off.
That's Texas.
I think he got off.
That's Texas.
Oh, if it was New York.
You do it in New York, you're screwed.
He's getting locked up and they're throwing the fucking
up, and then that kid's going to get even more views now,
getting
and
$1
$1
billion in a lawsuit.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I told you about the dude. that I talked about with Nick on the podcast that was ripping my fucking last nerve with Kenji with the in front of the Paramount.
Oh yeah,
he was
like
yelling in my face. I'm just like, oh man, dude. Let me just tell you, bro. You're so lucky that I'm so restrained. Because if I just didn't care, I'd literally beat the shit out of you and then call you. I'd be like, hey, Alex, come arrest me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, come arrest me.
You have to be restrained, and you just don't know who you're messing with. My partner that I work with says it all the time. He's like, you just don't know who you're messing with. Like, you don't know whether they have a gun. You don't know if they're a trained fighter.
Yeah.
There's just no need for entertaining any of it unless you really have to.
Yeah, which I try,
but
my entire life I've always been able to avoid things like that.
Yeah.
Always, even in bad situations, I've always been able to either talk my way out of it or just like avoid it completely. Yeah. Ignore it, like look at them, go whatever, bro. Like just leave it alone. It's not that serious, and then walk away and almost talk sense into certain situations.
And it's hard. It's hard.
Oh, it's very hard because the caveman brain in me wants to let loose because I know I could do some shit. I'm like, oh man. I mean, I've only been doing jujitsu since May. I'm a white belt with one stripe.
Yeah.
I grapple at the mixed class. I do shit like that. It's fun. I love doing it, but you become way more aware of how much more control I have over people that have no idea how to grapple.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I'm not good at jujitsu. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But when you go against guys that are their first time rolling and they don't really know, you slip one arm around their neck, they start going like they're just oh my god, and you just see the panic, and there's no panic in terms of like how to get out of it. It's panic of like they just sink in deeper into like the worst move ever. It's just like here we go. So to be able to like learn how to wrestle and throw people and control bodies, I mean, you as a boxer, that's a whole nother. Striking is like really, keep your fucking hands up and shit like that. I'm just gonna be shooting for legs.
Hey, it works, and like I said, if they don't know, I mean, you see videos on YouTube of like these 70-year-olds getting picked on by some teenager, and then they were a fighter and they just sleep them. It's so satisfying.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
So
man.
satisfying.
Just throw them with a cross.
Yeah, and they look so good, and you can tell as a 70-year-old man, they're like, oh, this is great.
Oh, like he's tight with it,
like
man.
Old school, yeah. But people just, I don't know. Everything nowadays, I feel like is out of control, man.
Yeah. It really is. It's such an interesting world that we live in. But like you said, I think the biggest takeaway for that is just like keep your cool because you really don't know who you're fucking with. You really don't. And that goes on both sides. Even if you are a trained fighter, even if you are someone that knows jujitsu, dude could have a blade, dude could have a gun.
And
that was another thing.
More so nowadays.
And that was another thing. You know, I always kept like I always had like a little work knife on me, stuff like that. You know, I would always think about it in that aspect too. It's like, okay, great, I have this piece of hardware that I can defend myself with, but I'm not a fucking knife fighter.
Yeah.
So like, what if they're really good with knives? Now they take that from me, and now I basically just gave them a weapon.
Yeah.
Now they know how to use it, and I'm fucked. I'm getting stabbed with my own knife.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there hitting me with it. I'm just like, yeah, that's my knife.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
My knife.
That's nuts.
My knife against me, but hey.
All right, let's see. I wanted to know if there were any boxers that influenced you. Obviously, you said Tyson. Mm-hmm. Were there any other boxers that influenced you or inspired you at an earlier stage?
Tyson was the initial just to get into boxing. I did have people that I looked up to as an amateur, and they were the amateurs in the gym.
Did you find that the guys that you actually got to train in the same room with were more inspiring to you than seeing people on TV?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So some of the guys in the gym that were, you know, much older, and they were doing their thing, won the Golden Gloves, this and that, turned pro. I looked up to them, some of them. But the funny thing is, a lot of those guys that I looked up to as a little kid are my biggest haters now.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
The weirdest thing.
Well, because are you doing better than them?
Yes. Yeah. But I just don't understand it.
Well, they love to see you just doing well, just not better than them. That's the line.
I guess so, because I remember I was like, man, this is sad. Like, I remember looking up to him, and now like he's talking down on me. So I don't know, it just came to mind when you brought that up. I was like, man, the guys that I looked up to are like, you know, not for me now.
Unfortunately, that's very common. Because like I just said, that quote is certain quotes that you hear, it's like they resonate and they stick around for a long time.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, everyone tries to be like the next Shakespeare. Everyone tries to make banger quotes and like, they sound cooler than they actually are. But then you hear things that actually resonate and you go, that's why that's been around for so long and it actually means something. Mm-hmm. You know, generally your peers like to see you do well. They want to see you succeed and get wins and do this. But now there's that fine line where you start to actually do better than them. Yeah. You're maybe making more money. You're getting more fight chances and opportunities. Yeah. You're winning more. And they start looking at you not as a peer anymore, but as an opponent and as somebody that they don't want to do better than them because you're going to continually rise up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, you know, I'm fortunate to have, you know, a good amount of supporters. You know, we sell out the Paramount now and do like 30,000 ticket sales. But the least amount of tickets I sell are from my hometown, which is like another crazy thing to me. Like all these other supporters from other towns, like they're buying in packs, coming out to support me. But then like I do have hometown supporters and I'm appreciative for them, but I like the least amount of tickets I sell are to people from my hometown. Mm-hmm.
I would say the least amount of downloads from my podcast are from like my tight group of friends. Not like Tyler or Gabe, my buddy, but like the friends that you think would be the first ones to start posting the podcast or posting episodes or shouting you out, stuff like that. They don't. Yeah. So I don't get offended. I know
not at all.
I notice it.
It's an eye opener.
I notice it. Yeah, that's all I do. Yeah. I notice it. So like when and it's not so much of an eye for an eye. I'm not I'm not looking for revenge. I'm not looking to like get back at people. Yeah. But it's like when y'all want the support, I'm just not going to be there. I'm just not going to be there in full force. And
and it's not in like a petty way.
No, it's just like I hope you understand. Yeah, like, I know you get it. Yeah, I know you get it. That's what you gotta say. I know you get it. But
that's it.
You know, where were you for the last 10 fights for me? Yeah, I heard some stuff from news outlets. I heard some stuff from people. I heard some stuff, and maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's correct. But that you actually did say these things or think these things. But that was my takeaway from what I was.
And like you said, it's nothing like. It's just something you notice. Yeah. Like I have the people that have been.
Yeah, it's hard when you say things like that. It's hard for people automatically think that you're just trying to be petty and you're just trying to like match the energy. Yeah. But actually, that's actually what I'm doing. I'm matching the energy. Yeah. You're trying to get. I meant to say get back at them.
Yeah, it's not
matching the energy. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something like you notice, and it's like, oh wow, like I've had my people that have shown up haven't missed since like my last amateur fight. Yeah. And I have new people coming, but it's just like I said, like you notice that from that one area, the least are coming.
Yeah. I want to come. I want to come through Saturday. I do. I know I fucked up with the tickets already, but maybe I could have. Maybe I'll slip in the side door.
Yeah,
I'll slip in. I'll hit Star up. I'll be like, yo, yeah, I'll give you guys everything.
Yeah, we'll
give you guys everything.
Yeah. No, we'll.
They love that.
They love that.
I'll give you guys everything.
You're in. You get the
like,
wristband and all. Yeah.
Come on in.
Nah, we'll get you in. Yeah, you're right here.
I'll walk over. I'll give you
a good night.
I mean, you're not going to be until late again anyway, so
I'm hoping not that late. Last time seemed a bit dragged out.
Rough.
A bit.
But past 8 o'clock, I'll give the dog his pill and I'll walk over.
Yeah,
Done.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, so I got a couple more questions that I wanted to touch on. Got them right here. We already went over the intro and just your youth and everything like that. Just a couple talking points that I had. And here's a question for me. What does a camp look like for you? What do you find effective? Because every fighter is different.
Yeah.
What do you find to be the way that you train getting ready and prepared for a fight the best? Is it a lot of bag work? Is it a lot of sparring? Is it just a mixture of everything? Because I'm sure there's, is it cardio? Like, what goes into it for you to be a well-rounded fighter?
It's all of that. It's cardio, sparring with high-level competition.
Do you find sparring better people than you helps you, or because in jiu-jitsu, John Danaher, he was GSP's coach, and he coaches Gordon Ryan and a lot of really good jiu-jitsu practitioners. Yeah. He talks about getting ready for big tournaments and big fights, fighting lower belts, sparring against lower belts, because it actually helps your game.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No. So I don't know if that's something that you find effective or not.
No, with me, it's sparring the top competition. Like, I sparred with a few world champions for this fight, and
it's exciting.
Oh yeah, and that's why I'm like, I know I'm getting there because I've been doing it for years with these guys now, and they all had their route. I have my route, and they've got me better throughout the years. So I sparred a few, like Richard Comey, world champion, Curtis Stevens, a ton of guys that I just feel like it gets me sharper.
And what is each one?
Looks.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, what does each one bring the guys that you fought so far? Like, what have you noticed from each one to the next? Is it heavier hitting? Is it different style?
They're different styles. I mean, they're all different styles. Like, Comey is probably one of the hardest punchers I've ever sparred. And his record shows he's like 28-3 with like 26 knockouts. Like, sleeping pills for hands. And then you've got other guys that I've sparred that are, trying to think who I sparred this camp that are, boxers. But we wanted more pressure guys because the guy I'm fighting is probably going to pressure.
Okay.
But all of that, the cardio, we do a ton of cardio. I'm never worried about cardio because if anything, I do too much of it. They got to tell me to pull back. But I think the main thing for a training camp is my mental. Having the right people around me. And that's really what helps me, because if I have the wrong people around me, it really screws me up, man. And I've stopped talking to people that are in training camps. I've done a ton because that's my main thing is my mental. And, if I have the wrong people, I keep a tight circle. And then I notice, like, people that are around me that are affecting me negatively. Like, I have my close friends that know, hey, Alex is training, and that's all I do is chill out. But then you have people that, even if, the thing is, this is year-round, having the right people around me. Because I always stay in shape. As a fighter, I always stay in shape. I'm not just falling off and putting on 50 pounds and this and that. So my core friends know, like, hey, Vargas is still going to be training this and that. But then I have other people that I've brought in around me, and it's like they try and change everything about me. They tell me to enjoy my life, live my life. But the way I enjoy my life and live my life isn't the way you do, and some people just don't understand that. So if I'm, as a fighter, you gotta stay ready, and these people are trying to tell me, some people, for example, are trying to tell me to, go out every weekend and come out and drink. And like I said, I'm not against any of that, but I'm not doing that every weekend. That's not living life to me, is going out and blacking out every weekend. I haven't had
a drink since March.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People look at you, people look at you like you're crazy if you don't want to do that. Like, no, I'll go out and I'll stay. I want to go home at 10. I got to get up, do my run. Oh, you're too much on your routine. You're too much this, too much that. No, it's just what you can stay out. I'm not telling you not to. I'm going to go home, chill out. I don't want to take shots tonight. oh, this, that. Why not? Enjoy yourself. That's not enjoying myself. I just don't want to take shots. You know what I mean?
Another quote, misery loves company.
Yes.
So unfortunately, the societal standards dictate a lot of what kids our age do. And you're younger than me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people in my age bracket at 32 years old that are stuck in that early 20 mentality still.
Yeah.
Because they either don't want to grow up or they're just so afraid of just having to accept that they're getting older and that these things don't serve them anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I was never a drinker when I was younger. I really wasn't. I'd go out and get fucked up. You'd hang out and have fun. But it wasn't something that I like. When I was away at college, I needed to do this. I had to do this. Like, everybody was just like so pent up, and they just they felt like they had to go to the parties. They had to go to the frat houses. They had to do this. They had to do that. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, when you surround yourself with people that are like that, they want you to do the same things as them. Which is another reason why, one of the other sayings is, you are a reflection of the 5 closest people around you.
Yeah.
What are they doing in their free time? Are they partying?
Yeah.
Are they using drugs? Are they drinking a ton? And as you mentioned, I mean, maybe there's something wrong with it, but if that's what they want to do, I can't sit here and judge you on that. That's on you. This is your choice, your life path. But you can't come over and look at me and pressure me to do it and then be irritated when I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I have friends, and I want to, get your take on what what we were just covering. But I've had friends that they'll hit me up and they'll say, "Oh, come out for a bit. Just come out and do this and that." It's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's not because I don't want to socialize. I'm just so okay with just chilling.
Yes.
And staying on my game because I do a lot in a day.
Yeah.
Taking care of the dog. It's like I have a special needs kid. It really is. It's crazy. It's like taking care of the dog. He needs all of his pills. You're constantly monitoring him, his food, sit like that. That's a stress all on its own, but it also, you just got to watch. It's a part of life for me. That, working out every single morning, doing my workouts at the HIIT class and stuff like that, and then jujitsu. Yeah. And that's what I'm
happy.
in.
And that's
used to be bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Used to be bodybuilding. It's not bodybuilding anymore.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding does not make me happy. Bodybuilding actually makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes me sad, and I'm good on it. So I've switched things up and I've reorganized my life to be as accommodating and easy on me as possible.
Yeah.
Moving the office to my block.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't be easier. It really couldn't.
That's awesome.
But that's what I want to do because I want to be able to do a podcast whenever the fuck I want.
Yep.
I don't want to have to drive somewhere and do it. And this is the closest thing to then having a studio in my home.
Yeah.
So while others choose to work out all week, but then abuse their bodies on the weekend and regress and not realize that they're regressing.
Yes.
They don't realize.
They don't want to. They don't want to realize.
They don't want to realize. They probably realize it. They look in the mirror. They see themselves. They feel it.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that I know that I look at them and I'm like, yo, you guys go so ham in the gym and you are so dedicated with your training, and then you're at a rave every fucking Friday night.
Yeah.
You're at a fucking club every Saturday night. You got the bottle service. You got this. You got that. Really? I don't know. Do you really feel like you need to do this shit?
Yeah.
Maybe this is your enjoyment. And I try. I really do. We're trying to stay neutral.
Yeah,
it's
we're
funny.
not judging.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
We want to.
Yeah. It's just not what I want to do.
Don't pressure me. I'm not pressuring you to. Hey, get out of the club.
Yeah.
Don't go. So let me be. Like you said, it's the standard because that's what people are doing.
And
if you don't do it, it's a little bit weird.
Alcohol is the most widely pushed drug. And y'all can judge me on saying this, but it is the most widely pushed, socially acceptable drug in the world.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. I find that it makes people do even worse shit than some of the milder drugs that I've seen, like pot.
Yeah.
And I'm not even for pot. I'm really not. I've smoked a couple of times here and there, and I fucking hated it every single time when I was younger. I'm like, I'm good on this shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve me. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, no, you got to try it again. Man. No, I don't. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
People try to get me to eat. Oh, you got to try edible. No, I don't want to try edibles, man. Regular weed, I hate it. So why would I do that shit? So it's like, for me, exactly what you were saying. It's like, I have the things that I like to do. You have the things you like to do. We can meet in the middle and hang out.
Yes, exactly.
But if we're going to constantly be butting heads on things that you want me to do and tell me what I should or shouldn't be, or my life would be so much better if I just relaxed.
Yeah.
You know how many people when I was dying for bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, just go get a cheat meal. It's cool. Like, just like,
I don't get it.
Just relax. Just eat whatever you want, man. It's like, Oh, okay, yeah, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
I've just been dieting for 22 weeks for this bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll just go get a cheat meal now.
They just don't get it. They just don't get it.
And I don't know if it's a drive thing, and I don't know if it's a misery loves company thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a mixture of a little bit of everything. Nobody likes to self-sabotage alone. So you have to watch that.
Yeah.
But then that's also the people that you can't have in your circle.
Yeah.
So it's like a catch 22, catch 21. I don't fucking whatever they call it. Whatever they call it.
But that's like how much that can affect you mentally. Clearly, like how we spoke about what we were just talking about. That's why I keep those people, or I give them the boot when I'm in training camp. Because I've got a fight to worry about. I'm locked in. Even if I don't have a fight scheduled, I don't need that in my life. That's it. Because then if you stay around it, you'll start kind of catching yourself.
Oh yeah,
going into it. And
you'll
I've done
trip
that before.
You'll trip up.
I've been around the wrong people, and I've started, going out more and this and that. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like I wake up, what am I doing? Like I feel terrible. Like this isn't what got me here as a fighter. From doing this and that because other people want me to do it. So it's just like I said, the main thing I always know I'll be in shape, but the main thing is my mental, and that I've learned. That's the biggest thing in camp.
What percentage would you say is mental for the fight game?
Most of it. I mean, I'm going to say, let's say 80%, because I know I'm in shape and everything, but it's the mental aspect. You're going to have the doubts kicking in. You have to kick that out of your mind. Like this week, you start cutting weight. You start getting a little bit loony, and a little crazy, and you have your doubts setting in just because your mind's not, you're not feeling good. You can't wait. Your mind's not on point. So you've got to know to focus that or learn to keep a strong mentality. So I think that's the main thing. Because in the fight, you're going to get tired. It's how do you react when you do get tired? Or how do you react when you do get hit? You prepared for it. It's just how you're going to take it mentally.
Yeah. Mindset has been a big topic just for life lately.
Yes.
And it's quite an interesting thing because for a long time I was able to master the physical side of my body and deal with the ever-changing hills of weight gain, loss, and rolling hills of that. And then I said it on the last episode. I haven't posted the Marina episode. I'm probably going to post that tomorrow morning like I told you. And this will come out on Thursday. We're recording this on Monday. Yeah. So you'll be deep into the weight cut at that point.
Very deep. I'll be in it.
But the mindset thing, it's like I've had some trials lately, and now I feel great, to be honest with you. I'm very happy. I feel very good compared to what I felt like a month ago and 2 months ago. And it was almost like the world challenging me to get your mindset right, to stop scrolling on social media mindlessly, to be a producer, not a consumer of a lot of social content, and to stop comparing yourself, things to other situations, and to just be happy with where you are and the trajectory that you're on, because it's super important. And every episode that I've done since, I did one with Lindsay. I think that was in September. I did one with Lindsay, even Dre, like Andre, when I did some episodes with him.
Yeah.
Every single episode has had a little segment about mindset.
Yeah.
And it's just proving to be such an important thing that we're all realizing. I don't know if it's because we're getting older, but at the same time, I feel like our parents' generations, they really didn't think mindset at all. I think with the introduction of a lot of stressors and constant stimuli from all of these electronic devices and people trying to be famous and trying to do things and just, not being themselves and the aggravation of the world, I think it has become super important to protect your space. Yeah. And that is part of why I like to stay at home. Yeah. Why I don't invite, listen, this isn't a brag. I can invite girls over all day. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to. I like just me and Kenji chilling out. I like no stress.
Simple.
I like just chilling, man. Because then I got to fucking entertain. I don't want to deal with it, man. Unless it's somebody that I really feeling for, like special-wise. Yeah. It's like that's another side. All my boys, not all my boys. I can't throw them all under the bus. But some of them will be like, "Oh man, you got this dope apartment, this and that. You be having girls here every couple days." Nah, man. Nah. I want a podcast. I want to play a little Xbox. I want to read. I want to meditate. I want to chill. I got to protect my space. Yeah. Dude, I've worked too fucking hard to allow somebody to come in and stress me out.
Yeah. They got to be the right one if they're going to be
dude. And listen, everyone's going to stress you out. But that's what I'm saying. You got to pick Like, what am I going to be? What's acceptable for my levels of stressors? Because we're constantly safeguarding this, and we have to keep the walls up. You know, you could experience new things, new people, new opportunities, but you have to keep the walls up in certain aspects and safeguard that mindset, because it is, once you get it, you don't want to let it go. Like, you feel clean, good, like everything's going well for you. The second some things start coming in and start intruding on the thoughts and shit like that, you go, no, please get me back to where I was.
Huge.
Yeah, fight camp, I can only imagine, man.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. You're about to go into the ring and do battle, and you're just like, I do not want to have any extra bullshit with anything.
No, like you said, simple.
Yeah.
Like I want to get done with training. I'll watch a movie. That's it. Lay around. I don't need to entertain someone or have a stressor, unless, like you said, they're the right one.
Yeah, the right one.
But
the right one. And guess what? None of my boys are the right ones. Stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
You guys go stay home.
Get away.
My boy Joe, I don't know if Joe listens to the podcast. My boy Joe hit me up. He hit me up yesterday. He goes, what are you doing today? I said, I'm going to OG. I'm going to go train.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, cool. Like, yo, do you want to come? We're Patriot fans.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been brutal.
Yikes.
It's been brutal.
Big win yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Big one.
Shocker. Had no idea that was coming. I was prepared for 1-6.
Yep.
Right? Is that what we were going to be? 1-6?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're 2-5. I think. Whatever. Get it together, guys. But he's like, yo, do you want to come over and watch the Patriots game? I said, no.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I said, I don't feel like it.
Not today. Yeah.
So then what happened? I went home after OG, walked Kenji. I laid down, opened up all the windows in the house. All the windows were open. Getting this beautiful fall breeze.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I went, yo, it was great. I put the game on, whatever game was on, because I only bought Red Zone, because fuck you, NFL, for how much you charge for what is it, the NFL Sunday ticket? Yeah. Criminal. Anyway, I got this big blanket, and it was freezing in the apartment, and the blanket was keeping me all warm. I had my feet, I was getting all comfy, and I just went, man, I want this to last forever. This is the best feeling ever. No, my phone's not going off. Everything's quiet. I'm watching TV. I took a nap, woke up, got a little snack. It was perfect.
That's like me. I'm like the basic white girl. Like, if I wasn't training, I would have finished my run yesterday. I went home, watched football. I would have had like a pumpkin spice latte or something. Like, that's it. That's all I need. That's it. Dude, watch football, chill.
The fat boy in me keeps telling me to go get the pumpkin cold brew foam on top at Starbucks.
Oh, dude, isn't that thing like
it's not
eating like 20 donuts? Is it that one?
No, it's not that one.
No, I was gonna say there's no way you're having that one.
No, it's the cold brew.
But
with foam on top, and they do pumpkin.
They do pumpkin
like cream foam on top.
Shoot,
it's delicious. It's not that caloric, but it's just like when you start looking,
because
when you're tracking everything and you start looking, you're just like, oh my god, 30 grams of sugar just for this fucking thing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that much either.
And it's just foam. That's all it is on top.
That's why I thought it was like whipped cream. I was like, oh, it's nothing. Then I looked. I'm like, oh shoot, because I was training. I'm like, I can't have this.
I'm gonna ruin Starbucks for a lot of people real quick. Let me see if I can pull this article up while we're on the topic. Does Starbucks coffee have mold? The truth revealed.
Mold?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The safety of Starbucks coffee and its mycotoxins.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah. I don't have the article prepared, but I'm going to click this and we can run with it. It's been a household name when it comes to coffee, with over 30,000 locations worldwide. Oh, my God. Mold can grow in coffee in a variety of ways. One way is through the beans themselves. If the beans are not properly dried and stored, they can become moist and create a breeding ground for mold. Sorry for anybody who doesn't like the word moist, but get over it. You're adults. Another way mold can grow in coffee is through the brewing equipment. If the equipment is not cleaned properly, mold can start to grow inside. And then there's been a couple of studies. Starbucks quality control measures takes the safety and quality of its products seriously. The company has a rigorous process for sourcing, roasting its coffee, as well as testing and quality control procedures to ensure that its products are safe for consumption. But there's controversies and claims. In 2017, a California woman filed a lawsuit against Starbucks claiming that the company's coffee contained mold and that she had suffered from respiratory problems. The judge later dismissed the case and ruled that a woman had failed to provide evidence that Starbucks coffee contained the mold. Starbucks' response, but can mold grow in the coffee? And it says, yes, mold can grow in coffee if it's not properly dried, stored, or handled. Coffee is in a moist environment, which makes it prime breeding ground for mold. So, since reading this type of stuff, I go more for like the small roasters, like Soul Brew.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I find that I find that they're probably using less. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if it's true. Starbucks, please don't sue me. I don't have the money to fight you in court.
I was gonna say you're definitely not what you got Starbucks walking distance from here. You're definitely not going there.
Oh, I definitely go. I mean, but this is store bought coffee, La Colombia. But
it's the good stuff.
It's the good stuff. It's like race fuel. It's fucking
I'm
phenomenal.
Colombian, man. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's like race fuel. But I try to stick to like more small batch stuff now because I find that if that is a case, I'm trying to keep my shit clean, man.
Yeah.
I just like, and I can.
I'm a coffee fiend too, so
I can understand why it might have more mold in it because it's so largely processed and distributed around the world.
Yeah.
That they probably don't catch it all.
Makes sense.
And if you look up videos, I'm gonna allow y'all to do this research on your own because I'm gonna get back to Alex with fight stuff. But if you look up the ice machines and how disgusting ice machines are, a lot of times people think they got food poisoning from a restaurant, from the food. It's actually from the ice machine, from drinking the water.
Makes sense.
The ice machines are disgusting.
Yeah, I've worked. Now that I think about it, because I've worked obviously in a restaurant.
And and how often did they clean? You don't have to tell me what restaurant. How often did they clean that ice machine?
I don't remember seeing it get cleaned.
Insane.
So
oh no,
I don't know. That just made me really realize. I'm like, man, place I've worked, I don't remember.
Yeah, so that's why you get a cold brew, you get a cold iced coffee, whatever, and they're using that ice in there too. So I'm sure that's not the cleanest shit in the world either. And listen, they're probably using tap water too.
Yeah.
So now you have all the shit that's in the tap line from wherever you're from. Nah, I'm good on it. Ugh. It's too much. It's too much.
That's a lot.
All right, let me see my next question for you, my brother. All right, this is actually a question because I was very curious. Do you get butterflies in your stomach leading up to the fight? Do you ever get that like anxious or excited feeling?
It's
what does it feel like? I guess I should word the question a little bit better. I was just jotting things down. My brain was all over the place.
It's a weird feeling. Like I said, fight week in itself is a roller coaster of emotions.
Can you go into depth of what you feel?
Yeah. So it's just very up and down. Like it's gonna be a long week. It's Monday. We're starting the weight cut. We really start feeling it today. And when you start weight cutting, your mind gets a little crazy. So you just think about everything. You think about every possibility in the fight, every interview you have to do, and it's up and down. Like some days are good, some moments in the day are good, and like, oh, I feel good, I feel great, and then some moments in the day you're like, oh man, am I ready? Just naturally, your mind again playing tricks on you. And
is there a technique that you use? I'm sorry to interject, but is there a technique or some type of training that you've done for yourself after 13 fights? And now I know, by the way, why I thought 15-0, because I wrote 13-0, 5 knockouts. That's why. So I thought 15. Why. Is there something that you do to keep that mindset in check besides just staying more isolated and to yourself? Do you meditate? Do you do anything like that?
I don't meditate. I
breath
tell
work?
myself like, hey, this is natural. Every fighter goes through it. Every fighter has that. I remember hearing George St. Pierre say, hey, I'll think, what if I lose? What if this happens? And then I just have to tell myself, it's natural. It's not gonna, I'm prepared. That's not going to happen. It's just all natural stuff. And then, like I said, having the right people around you that instill in your mind that you are ready. You've trained, you've done this, you've done that. So they reinforce that feeling. And then as far as the fight, it's a lot of pressure. Yeah. A lot. And as each fight goes, it comes with the sport, the territory, especially when it's just you in the ring. It's a lot of pressure. Now an entire police department knows I'm fighting. I'm representing them. Don't want to let them down. Don't want to let myself down, my family. And it's just, it's just a very eerie feeling. I'll put it that way. Because like I said, it's a weird combination of everything. It's very eerie. Like before walking out, it's just a very quiet, dark, like you're focused, you're like in like a zen, calm, but at the same time, your heart's going, you hear the crowd, you were in the back with me, like it's intense. So it's such a weird...
Other fighters that had just finished their fight and whether they got the decision or the knockout that they thought they were going to get, or they got knocked out or whatever it is. And they're walking around, they're irritated. They're talking to like the officiating staff.
It was one last time outside of my locker room. I'm like,
Please close the door.
I was like, yeah, we got to get this guy out of here.
Please close the door. You got to leave,
yeah,
bro.
he just lost the fight. I'm like, it's just very energy.
Yeah, get it out.
Get all that bad energy out. That's what it is, man. But it's just a undescribable feeling.
Yeah.
Very, like I said, because you're excited, but you're trying to keep it calm so you don't mess up the game plan, and you're sticking to the game plan, trying to stay focused, and then there are nerves and that pressure, and like I said, there's an after party. You don't want to, ruin that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still gonna be an after party, but is it gonna be the same? So it's a ton of emotions. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
a roller coaster.
I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
I can.
And I snap on people. Like once I get to tomorrow and I start cutting more weight, my mom. They all know this.
Short. You feel short.
Oh, very short.
But they definitely get it and they understand because it's just a temporary thing. And
it's funny though because my mom really pays attention to it. Like I'll be sitting at the dinner table just like, man, suffering. I want to eat and stuff, and she's sitting there suffering with me. She's not eating, and she can. I don't expect her not to, but she won't. She'll sit right there with me, talk to me if she thinks I want to talk. If not, she'll sit there with me.
As mom, man, she knew you since day one.
And then I go downstairs, and then she eats. My dad, I think he's so stressed out with the fight too, and everything he does getting done. He won't realize I'll be sitting at the dinner table, and he'll come with a piece of pizza. I'm like, man, this is so good. Does not realize it. I'm like, I want to kill this guy. He just won't realize. He's like, man, it's so good. Like, it smells good. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Dad,
I just walk.
That's like me with the guys. That's like me with the drunks outside my house. Dad, just go anywhere but here.
Yeah, just that's
anywhere,
it. That's
anywhere
it.
But here.
That's it. Go watch football over there. But don't sit right next to me and tell me how good this pizza is.
If you bring a wing over here, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh my god! And that's how it goes. But my mom really holds it down and really.
You're the baby, man. That's it.
That's mom.
That's how my mom would be too.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's how my mom would be.
Yeah, she really she keeps everyone, because everyone's stressed fight week. She keeps everyone calm. Because everyone starts getting snappy with each other and stressed out, and she keeps everyone calm. Then after weigh-ins, everything kind of calms down. Like I get to eat, and now it's just like, all right, now we just gotta go out there and handle business. But
and you're still home now. You still live at the crib with my dad?
I am. Yes, I'm leaving.
And I know you
after
said you were
fight.
getting. So
I'm leaving.
Do you think that fights, like pre-week fights, will be easier or worse now that you be out of the house? That you don't have them there as the support? Do you think it'll be less stressful in certain situations?
In certain situations, I think. Naturally family around, you're going to start butting heads, constantly just asking things, even if it's simple, like my dad asking about my weight every day, every second. I'm like, Dad, it's not going to change in 2 hours. I wake up later each day. We'll see as it gets closer, but those things you start butting heads, stuff like that naturally. So being out of the house in that sense will help because you won't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need them around because once I start going into the bath or the sauna and start cutting weight, I need them around. I need them to, help me up sometimes. Like I'm a little weak. I need them to, Mom, can you cook me my fish, please? Because I just can't right now.
Yep.
So it's a give and take, pros and cons of, I think I'd rather be home, especially since I've done it since I was pro. Every single time, and I'm kind of superstitious where I like doing the same things, so I'd rather be home. Like I go to Porter's after weigh-ins to eat dinner. I go to Toast with my sister in the morning to eat breakfast, and everything is the same.
Yeah, systematically it just works.
Systematically, so I if I change something, I don't want it to mess me up, or just change that mental aspect. So I think it'll help being out at certain points in training, maybe being out for a week from home and getting away, but for the most part, fight week and stuff, I'd rather be home.
Yeah, you shuttle back.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the way to do it. I'll have you touch on this again.
Yeah.
But I asked you about the butterflies leading into the fight, and then what's going through your mind when you enter the venue and prepare for battle a few hours from then. So I know you touched on it a little bit. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that when you walk into the venue and you see how it is?
Or the actual venue?
Yeah, you walk into
get chills.
Yeah,
you get chills. Because that's when you know it's real. And I'll walk out to see the venue and watch the beginning of the fight just to hear the sounds, the crowd, because it's a different environment. But it's just chills, man. Very eerie. And then once you start getting wrapped up, that's when you really lock in because there's no turning back now. You getting those hand wraps put on. It's now you can start warming up and it's fight time. So once you get to that point, that's whenever you're still gonna have the nerves and everything, but you really lock in. But like I said, being a fighter, it's such a weird feeling. I wish I could describe it. You know, it's just weird all around.
Weight cutting and then preparing for the fight in the final week. What does a weight cut look like for you? You don't have to give like specific details, but just what do you incorporate? Sauna? Is it, I know I was going to ask you because I saw the UFC put out a video with Volkanovski. Did you see him cutting weight?
I didn't see that one.
I have to show you when we're done.
It was
pretty crazy.
The Cyborg.
Okay.
That one was rough.
Yeah, man.
Even McGregor.
Yep.
Back in the day.
I mean, it's tough. Any division, any sport. If you're cutting weight for something, wrestling, stuff like that, it's brutal on the body.
Oh, it's horrible.
Especially to drop weight and depending on how much you need to drop and get to the certain point and hit it on the fucking right on the dial.
Yeah.
It's tough on the body.
Yeah, like I drop a decent amount, but people don't get why we do it. But it's for that advantage in the.
I was gonna say. So what is the main reason? Is it so this way you come in and then you can build back up and be heavier?
Yeah, so I'm bigger from my weight in that aspect. I get down to it, and then fight night. I won't disclose what I come into the ring at.
Yeah,
but
you don't need to.
I put on a decent amount, and that helps. You know, if you have extra weight on someone, you feel punches more, you feel theirs less. Weight wears on you, so if you have a couple pounds on them, it's going to wear on them. If you try and walk them down, they're not going to be able to push you around as much. So that's why fighters do it. They bulk up fight night. If you can get down, bulk up fight night. As long as you rehydrate the right way and you don't overdo it, you'll be good. Like
it's a science to it.
It's a science. Like my first pro fight, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just ate and ate and ate and ate, and I was like sick. I was heavy. It was horrible. So you got to do it the right way. If not, it's not going to help you in any way. But if you get down the right way, which is never fun, cutting weight. If you get down the right way and then you rehydrate the right way, it's an advantage.
All right, let me ask you this. What's the go-to meal after you make weight? Because you said you're systematic, and you said you go to Porter's?
Yeah. So right after...
What do you order? I need to know.
So first, right after weigh-ins, I'll just I have to chill. Like I'll get my Pedialyte, have like a banana and a protein bar and eat it slow. Like my team has to tell me, hey, stop chugging the Pedialyte. Now you'll throw it up from cutting weight. So I'll just snack throughout until I go to dinner to Porter's, get my body used to eating again.
Consuming fluids and whatnot.
Yeah. Then I'll get a nice steak, some sweet potato fries.
Nice.
Just
Are we getting any dessert or are we just leaving it right there?
No, that's it.
Okay,
that's
just making sure.
I just do a nice steak, not too big. Last time I did I forgot what it was, but it was too much because I didn't want to stop.
My man got the tomahawk.
I got the huge steak, and I was like,
let me get the one with that bone in it.
Yeah, and I kept, you're full. It's like, I'll take another bite.
Yeah.
Take another bite. So I think I'm just gonna get the little
like a filet mignon,
filet, some sweet potato fries, snack on little appetizers here and there, nothing crazy, and that's it.
And then what's breakfast looking like?
Go to Toast in Patchogue. I never know what the heck I'm going to get there.
Oh,
because they have the French toast with different flavors, the pancakes with different flavors. Like it's crazy.
But keeping it in mind, are you counting calories at this point or no? You're just
just packing on the carbs. Main thing, carbs. Packing on the carbs and just not overdoing it. That's it. So I get a big thing of pancakes, whatever chocolate chip, whatever the heck it is, cookie dough. I'm eating them, but once I'm full, I'm full.
Okay,
I'm stopping. But that's it, man. I can't wait. now to eat that stuff.
All right, so let me finish on this. Ready? So stepping into the ring, looking into the eyes of another man ready to do battle can be stressful. How do you stay centered and focused with the task at hand?
It's a good one.
Take your time.
That's a good one. Read that again.
Yeah, I got you. Stepping into the ring and looking into the eyes of another man ready to do battle can be stressful. How do you get centered and stay focused on the task at hand?
First thing that came to mind was just, I'm not letting this man beat me. That's it. I feel like everything else comes with that. If you say, I'm not letting this guy beat me, he's not going to beat you because you're going to stick to the game plan. You're going to stay mentally strong. You prepared for 8 to 10 weeks for the fight. Everything's there. Now it's just not letting this man beat me or beat you because you've done everything right to get ready for that moment that no other man's going to beat me.
It's perfect. So we got 5 days until fight night. We got 5 days till fight night. We've got a grueling next couple of days.
Yep.
Nothing that you're not prepared for. Nothing that you're not going to be able to get through, coast right in, and then get ready to do battle on Saturday night at the Paramount in Huntington. Sold out venue.
Yep.
Ready for this next fucking step. And you're going to go in there and you're going to be the warrior that you know you are.
That's it. Become the new WBA Continental Champion.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the team, for the journey that you've been on. I appreciate you for giving me some insight into not only your life, but what it's like being a fighter and being in your position. And I know that other people that are maybe thinking about getting into the fight game or thinking about taking that next step to be more competitive instead of just training and hitting pads every week to stay in shape.
Yeah.
You know, you've given a lot of insight into what it feels like and what goes through your mind and what you have to do to protect yourself, your energy, and your mentality leading up to a high stress event that you harness and make yours.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, bro. Is there anything else you want to tell people? Any sponsors you wanna shout out? Anything like that? You know, the platform is yours to talk to whoever you want or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, just real basic. Just all of my sponsors. They know who they are. All of my
you got a lot. You got a lot on that shirt. Man.
I do.
You got a lot on that shirt.
Fortunately,
yeah, that's an amazing thing.
I'm very grateful for them, my family, for all they do during these training camps, and my close friends that really hold it down, keep me on track mentally, and that's it, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, it's a pleasure. Man. We're gonna have more. We're gonna have more.
We'll do it again.
We're gonna have more. We'll chop it up. Maybe when I get a screen up there, or I get the ability to record screens, I'll get something where we can like watch some crazy fight compilations, and you can comment on it.
We'll just have a post-fight one. Hopefully, have the belt right here.
I would love that.
And that's it, man.
I'm envisioning it right now. I'm seeing it sitting right next to you.
This podcast has got me ready to go. Let's put it that way. I'm getting jacked up.
And then it's going to come out Thursday, so you can listen to it. You could just chill. We'll get some clips out. It's going to be good, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you and your time, and I appreciate everybody else for listening to us. And if you're new here, I always say if you could share, subscribe, show my man Alex some love. I'll put his social handles down below so y'all can follow him, follow the journey of him just doing his damn thing and just being a beast in and out of the ring. And this is episode 68 with Alex Vargas, my man. And once again, thanks for fucking with us and hanging out. On that note, peace.